I woke up at 5 in the morning to three strange men pounding on my front door. The entire neighborhood blacked out except for the spotlight on my porch. They wore matching polos, claimed they were HOA inspectors, and demanded to get inside my home. But when my wife calmly stepped forward and flashed her sheriff's badge, well, that's when their little charade exploded. Act 1. The conflict begins. My name's Daniel Walker. I'm a repair guy by trade. Engines, pipes, busted wiring. I fix things that are broken. My wife, Heather. She fixes bigger things, broken systems, broken people, and recently, without much fanfare, she'd been sworn in as the new county sheriff. No one in our neighborhood even knew yet. We lived a quiet life, or at least we tried to. The problem with quiet streets is they attract loud people. In our case, that loud person was Karen Lawson, president of the Oakwood HOA. Karen collects bylaws like trading cards and spends them like cash. If she doesn't like your lawn, you'll hear about it. If your truck looks too commercial, she'll slap you with a fine. That morning, the pounding at the door felt different too. Aggressive, too official. The power was out across the block, but my solar camera was still recording crystal clear. Three big guys in green polos with yellow letters. Inspector Oakwood, HOA. Funny thing is, our HOA never had inspectors. They had Karen, and a monthly newsletter dripping with passive-aggressive notes about grass height. I cracked the door chain. It's 5 in the morning. What emergency? The ringleader puffed his chest. Power fluctuation from this address fire hazard. We need to check your breaker official HOA business. I stared him down. You cut the power yourselves. Don't lie. He shoved against the chain like he might force his way in. That was his mistake. Heather stepped into the porch light leather jacket over a t-shirt, calm as can be. She held up her badge, gold star gleaming. I'm Sheriff Heather Walker. This is my house. You're trespassing, tampering with utilities, and attempting unlawful entry. State your names now. The three men froze, actors who just forgot their lines. They backed away, mumbling about a misunderstanding, then bolted for their unmarked van. I locked the door, adrenaline rushing. I didn't need to say it out loud, but Heather did. Karen Lawson. This has her fingerprints all over it. And that was the moment I knew we weren't just dealing with HOA nonsense anymore. This was war. What would you do if 3 fake inspectors tried to push into your house at 5 a.m.? Comment below. I really want to know if you'd have stood your ground or let them in. Act 2. Escalation and turning point. Over the next days, things escalated. One of those same men came back, caught on camera, prying open our breaker box with pliers. I filmed the whole thing, 30 seconds of vandalism before stepping outside. Looking for another fire hazard, I asked. He sneered bigger than me, chest to chest. You and your cop wife better learn your place. Karen runs this neighborhood. Then he shoved me hard. What he didn't expect was Heather stepping out in full uniform. Her voice cut through him like steel. Sir, you're under arrest for destruction of property and assault. 2 seconds later, he was face down in the grass, cuffed and humiliated. Word spread fast. The neighborhood finally had a crack in Karen's armor. But Karen doubled down. She mailed out absurd fines, $5,000 for a mailbox, the wrong shade of white, violations for wind chimes that were aesthetically displeasing. The annual HOA meeting turned into chaos. Neighbors packed the community center furious. A shop owner named Patel stood up trembling, begging Karen to reconsider his bogus fine. She sneered at him. If you can't afford to maintain your property, maybe you should live elsewhere. The room erupted. Another neighbor, Henderson, snapped. He pulled out a pistol, waving it wildly. People screamed, "Dove," under tables. For a split second, I thought it was all over. But Heather, she didn't freeze. She ghosted through the crowd, struck Henderson's wrist, and had him face down on a folding table before anyone processed what happened. The gun clattered to the floor. Phones rose, cameras flashed, and the whole room heard it. This is Sheriff Walker. Situation secure. Suspect in custody. Karen's smug smile shattered. Her power built on fear collapsed in front of everyone. But that night sitting at home, I hit my lowest point. Another violation notice taped to my door threatening to tow my truck. My work truck parked legally in my own driveway. I sat there, head in my hands, thinking maybe this wasn't worth it. Maybe Karen had already won. Maybe selling the house and leaving was the only way out. Am I the unreasonable one? I muttered. Am I the problem? For a moment I almost believed it. But then I looked at Heather, calm and relentless, building a case piece by piece. She wasn't backing down, and I realized I couldn't either. Karen didn't want me to move away. She wanted me broken, and I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction. Be honest. Have you ever felt like giving up on a fight because the other side seemed too powerful? Drop a yes or no in the comments. I want to see how many of us have been there. The very next week, Karen tried her dirtiest move yet, a fake 911 call, a swatting attempt meant to trigger a SWAT raid on our home. But Heather had flagged our address months earlier. Her deputies traced the call to the HOA treasurer, Arthur Miller, caught red-handed with burner phones and cash. Under pressure, Miller sang like a canary, fake inspectors, illegal towing 2 sets of financial ledgers, all orchestrated by Karen. And then he gave up the crown jewel, a secret storage unit. Act 3. The Showdown and Justice. Inside the unit, deputies found it all. Racks of fake inspector polos. Stacks of pre-printed violation notices. Filing cabinets stuffed with ledgers showing fraud, kickbacks, extortion. Dossiers on dozens of neighbors, including me. Karen had built herself a little kingdom of fear, and now it was collapsing. But she wasn't done. She tried to flip the script, filed a restraining order against me, claimed I assaulted her contractors. In court, she sat next to her slick lawyer pretending to be the victim. Her lawyer spun 10 minutes of lies until I played the video from my phone. The entire courtroom saw her thug swing a chain at my legs, saw me calmly disarm him without throwing a punch. The judge didn't just deny her request, she referred the case to the district attorney, calling it a fabrication. Karen left pale, trembling, her lawyer humiliated. You'd think she'd stop there. But no. The next week, a drone hovered above my backyard camera, pointed straight at my house. Instead of grabbing a rock, I grabbed my binoculars, snapped a photo of the FAA registration number, and within days, deputies traced it to Karen's brother-in-law. The memory card, full of videos of my wife, my neighbor's kids, private backyards. Stalking, surveillance, systematic harassment. That was the last nail. At dawn, I stood at my window as unmarked cars slid into position down the street. Deputies walked up Karen's perfect stone walkway, warrant in hand. Moments later, they led her out in cuffs, silk robe, and manicured nails, hair a mess, looking small and pathetic. The woman who terrorized our neighborhood with fines, fake inspectors, and drones was done. Ending. And that's where I'll stop, at the exact moment Karen Lawson's empire crumbled. No victory parade, no celebration, just the truth catching up to a tyrant. So tell me, if your HOA president pulled half these stunts, would you fight back or just pay the fines and keep quiet? Drop your answer in the comments. I want to hear what you'd do. Final lesson, 1 sentence. When bullies build kingdoms on fear, all it takes is truth and the courage to stand your ground to bring the whole castle down.